Good morning, everybody. Bill Cloud here. Welcome once again to On This Day. Today is the 6th day of the month Adar. And according to tradition, it was on this day that Moses completed his review of the Torah for the people of Israel, and then on this same day was informed of his impending death. It's recorded for us in Deuteronomy chapter 31, beginning at verse 9. So Moses wrote this law and delivered it to the priests, the sons of Levi, who bore the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and to all the elders of Israel. Then the Lord said to Moses, Behold, the days approach when you must die. Call Joshua and present yourselves in the tabernacle of meeting, that I may inaugurate him. So there are two very important points that need to be highlighted here. And the first one is this. Because of his faithfulness, not his perfection, Moses was permitted to finish all the work that God had given him to do. The reason that Joshua was raised up to replace Moses was not because Moses was an inadequate leader or an unfaithful leader. It's simply because Moses had finished his race. That's a very important thing for us to acknowledge. Secondly, we see that before God removes any leader, or I might add ministry or nation, that has been used by him in times past, he already has a successor waiting in the wings to assume their position. Consider that before the destruction of the tabernacle of Shiloh and the death of Eli the high priest and his two sons Hophni and Pinchas, this is all in the days of Samuel. Before he removed all those things and all those people, God already had Samuel waiting in the wings, ready to assume the position of leader. And so, before God removed Moses, he made sure that someone who had proven himself to be faithful was on the scene. And because of Joshua's faithfulness, he too was given the opportunity to complete all of the work that the Lord had ordained for him to do. In fact, it's said of Joshua in Joshua chapter 11, as the Lord had commanded Moses his servant, so Moses commanded Joshua, and so Joshua did. He left nothing undone of all that the Lord had commanded Moses. So based on what we observe here, let's draw some conclusions. There will come a day when some ministries who've been faithful to serve God will eventually finish their race. It's not because they did something wrong. It's just they've finished their time. And when their time comes to an end, is there going to be somebody to fill their shoes? Of course, God always has someone. He always has a person, a ministry, in position to fill the role that He's called them to do. So then, if we feel that we've been called to some greater yet unfulfilled purpose, we have to ask ourselves whether or not we've been faithful while we're waiting. When called upon, will we be faithful to do all that God has given us to do, leaving nothing undone? Remember, Yeshua raised the issue of whether or not He would even find faith in the earth when He returned. There have been those who, though called, were not content to wait on God's timetable. Unfortunately, some people have preferred to set their own timetable. There have been those who have allowed the waiting period to become a distraction and who, unfortunately, fell into unfaithfulness. Still, there are those that God is preparing, and when called upon, will assume the positions that God has ordained for them. It's not going to be because they're perfect, not because they're charismatic necessarily or attractive. It's going to be because they have been found to be faithful. And so then, may it be said of us, all of us, that God will find us faithful, and that at the end of our race, it will be said, we didn't leave anything undone that God had given us to do. And when it comes time for us to step into our destiny, if we can use that word, let us continue to be faithful and do everything He's called us to do. That's our goal, that God's purpose in us and through us may be fulfilled. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you again tomorrow. Shalom.
Like what you're hearing? Become a Bill Cloud Premium Partner to watch or listen to hundreds of hours of teachings and resources on demand. Go to BillCloud.com/subscribe to start watching today.